Before you buy EA Sports UFC 6, here is everything you need to know about it. Starting off with gameplay, now personally, as someone who played the EA Sports UFC 6 closed beta, I can confidently say that this game is not like UFC 5, UFC 4, and other iterations of the UFC game. When I was playing the game, the striking felt more flowy, smoother. It flowed smoother and it felt better than previous games. So in the beta, we were able to play with Alex Pereira, Khamzat Chimaev, Dricus du Plessis, Brendan Allen, and MVP. They all felt completely unique from each other and played differently. One thing I can say is the tactics that we do in UFC 5 will not work as much here in UFC 6. I want to talk about the head movement in the game. The head movement feels snappier compared to UFC 5, where you can do the bobblehead, which I really don't like in UFC 5. You can't do that in UFC 6, and if you do, the vulnerability is much higher. One thing I will say with gameplay in UFC 6, the knockdowns and knockouts definitely need more work. The impact wasn't quite there, and the way they were falling was a bit too clunky for my liking. But besides that, when I was playing the game, I really had fun with it, and it was the most fun I've had when playing a UFC game in a long time. Yes, the grappling is essentially the same as UFC 5 and other iterations of the game, although there are two new additions to grappling, I would say. The instant over-under clinch and the new cage butterfly position. Now, I love the cage butterfly position. I think it looks cool. I think it is a needed addition to the game, and I like it very much. But besides that, yes, the grappling is essentially the same. So if you are looking to buy UFC 6 and you are heavy into grappling, jiu-jitsu, submissions, and a revamped ground game, I would say definitely skip this one. But if you are a guy like me who loves fighter uniqueness and who loves striking, this is the game for you. Moving on with the graphics of the game. A lot of people say this looks like a mobile game and all that stuff. Man, to be honest, man, you're just hating if you say the graphics are not exceptional. When I was playing the game, the graphics looked absolutely stunning. I know a lot of people have their different opinions on the fog and the lighting in the game. Like, if you do know, in venues like the MGM Grand, Madison Square Garden, T-Mobile Arena, they all have different colors, different lighting. For the T-Mobile Arena, we have the bluish fog. For the MGM Grand, we had this nice green fog. And for the Madison Square Garden, we had this orange tint. Which personally, as someone who creates content and who loves graphics, I actually really love the addition. Although I will say, I'm not sure if this is just exclusive to the Hall of Legends mode, but I did see in the T-Mobile Arena in there did not have the blue fog and lighting. So hopefully it is able to be turned off. Seeing the leap from the graphics from UFC 4 to UFC 5 to UFC 6 is just stunning, and absolutely I think it is a beautiful looking game. Now moving on to fighter uniqueness. Now this is the main selling point of UFC 6, fighter uniqueness. Fighters fighting like they actually fight in real life. Now, as I previously stated in the beta, we're only limited to like 6 fighters. So I'll talk about the fighters I used and personally how much fun they were to use. Alex Powhatan Pereira felt like Alex Pereira. The way you can fight with him in this game, the way you can push forward and pressure, the way you can mix up combinations, jab to the body, left hook up top, leg kick, it felt absolutely amazing and looked amazing too. The way he keeps his hands down low, stalking your opponent, and then his signature animations like the left hook, his calf kick. I have to say props to EA, it looks absolutely phenomenal. Now going to fighters like MVP. MVP was MVP was a bitch to fight in UFC 6. I actually fought with a fellow YouTuber Nabality, and he fucked me up with MVP, man. MVP is so good. The way he keeps his hands down, as you can see in real life, the way he like bounces off karate blitz style, they absolutely nailed that part in the game. Fighters like Dricus du Plessis felt like Drake as well. He was able to he was more chaotic than Alex Pereira, which is, yeah, I mean, it's typical Drake, plot armor type shit. So he did feel very chaotic. And now moving on to the game modes. Now a lot of people have issues with the game mode, since we have I believe we have 2 new game modes as of now. We have Hall of Legends and we have the Legacy. Now the Legacy, I actually really like this one as someone who likes story mode games, especially with the story mode in Fight Night Champion. I think this will be a bit similar to that, although I don't think it's going to be as in-depth as Fight Night Champion. I think most of it's going to be basically the same as a regular career mode, and just putting on a bit of cutscenes and stories in there, which I want more of a in-depth storyline. But as someone who doesn't really play with career mode that much, or story mode, I really don't mind it. I think it's a cool addition, and if you're looking for story mode, like an in-depth story mode, I am telling you guys, maybe you won't get that here with UFC 6, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Now with the Hall of Legends, this is my favorite mode that's here now in EA Sports UFC 6. I actually had this idea before back in UFC 5 with my Relive or Rewrite History alter egos, where you can have specific fights and specific moments of a fighter's career, fight as that fighter to be able to unlock new fighter skins. With right now we have Zhang Weili with her fights against, I think, Joanna Jędrzejczyk and Jessica Andrade. She has fights there. You can unlock a unique fighter skin from that time, which I think looks absolutely phenomenal. The character models are incredible. Now the career mode, I think, will be largely the same as UFC 5 and other iterations of UFC games, which is a bit of a downside. But I guess, a cool thing to me was you can now fight and defend for the BMF title, which I think is really cool. Now with everything said, from the gameplay to the graphics, fighter uniqueness, and game modes, which version should you buy? Now personally, for me, as someone who creates content for UFC games and who is really invested in the UFC franchise, I personally bought the Ultimate Edition. Now, the Ultimate Edition has some bonuses. It has the Fighter Pass bonus, so it basically has UFC Legends, 8 new fighters, instant access to Randy Couture and Ken Shamrock, so you'll unlock those when you buy the Ultimate Edition. You have the Expansion Pass. So the Expansion Pass is you're going to have 2 fully loaded expansions, which includes new modes. I think it's going to come like Winter 2026 and Summer 2027. We have the VIP Pass, which has fighter skins like Henry Cejudo, Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Yuri Prochazka, Khalil Rountree Jr., John Jones, and more. And for the pre-order bonus, this is for both the Ultimate Edition and the Standard Edition. We have the Korean Zombie, Misha Tate, and Leon Rocky Edwards. Now, if you are just someone who just likes to play the game, sometimes not really fully invested in the game, I would say buy the Standard Edition, which is about $69.99, and the Ultimate Edition obviously is $99.99. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had input. I hope you were able to figure out which version you should buy, and I cannot wait to make content in this game. I really do believe that this will be one of the best UFC games we've seen in a long time. So hopefully you enjoyed. I will be posting more content to this YouTube channel. Trust me, the content that I'm going to be posting will be amazing, and I just cannot wait to show what I have in store for you guys. So that's it. See you all in the virtual octagon. Take care.